This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST, brought by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Tim Daniel. Tonight we're talking about the Cincinnati Reds 5-4 win over the St. Louis Cardinals at Great American Ballpark. On tonight's show, we're going to talk about the bullpen coming through yet again, though it gets a little close. Chase Burns goes 5 innings. Good call, bad call. We're going to talk about that. Matt McClain has a huge day, going 3 for 3, including a really important bunt single in the 8th. Sal Stewart comes through with the big hit of the day. But we're going to start with the fact that the Reds said, we're going to create some chaos.
This is what you'll be talking about.
So I'm sure we've talked about this quite a bit. I don't know, on the show daily. But the Reds' inability to consistently hit has been something that's been jumping out a lot of late. And tonight they said, we can't make contact. Let's just cause some chaos. I'm very anti-bunting. You guys have heard me make this conversation a lot, right? I'm like, think it's dumb. I think it wastes things. The Reds had 2 really good bunts tonight in their rally to score 2 more runs, including Matt McClain laying 1 down. So that was like yet another, twice this week. I've had an eat crow, right? Doubleheader. I said, why is Ellie going to play in that game? Has a walk-off. I'm like, why are we bunting? You see what it is tonight. And now you're kind of seeing this fun things come together. So the Reds had this 8th inning tonight where they just put it all together at the same time. And obviously, the Sal Stewart home run plays a huge part into the game. That's no doubt about it. But then Sal making that incredible play at first base to get the second out in the 9th before Jordan Walker hits that homer. That is pretty big as well for him. But to see them just go out there and just kind of be like, look, we need to win. Let's figure out how to do it. It was cool. I liked it. I thought that was really fun to watch. So to see them kind of create a little chaos there in the 8th inning was a lot of fun. And to see them win a game like that is a lot of fun. Anytime you beat the Cardinals is a good day. Sorry, JD. You're our guy over here. We love you. Check out JD over at Locked On Cardinals. He's a good dude. Also from the city. Well, lives in the city, I should say. But that was a really fun day, and it was weird. But nice to see. We'll always take a run over the Cardinals. Absolutely love it. Big day for the Reds. Let's get to Sal Stewart, who, of course, had the big play of the game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Let's go into the 6th inning down 2-0, and Sal Stewart hits a 3-run homer, bringing in Matt McClain and Ellie De La Cruz to give the Reds the 3-2 lead. Probably also make the case that Sal Stewart will be our locked-on player of the game. Hinted, cough, cough, air quote, say no more. But Sal Stewart tonight with a huge point there. Gets his 100th RBI of the season. Pretty wild to think about. A rookie getting 100 RBIs there is pretty nice to see. So this was actually said in the comment that makes him the top Reds rookie for RBIs. That's pretty awesome. He's been nothing short of amazing, right? And it's the fact that we're seeing him kind of go out there and just do this. It's almost like night in, night out. We expect something special from him with the bat in his hand. And of course, he's playing against the guy who's rivaling him, quote, for Rookie of the Year, and JJ Weatherholt on the other side of the field. So Sal Stewart being the competitor he is, that felt pretty good to get that one. Not just the fact that it's always fun to get a homer. It's always fun to have that kind of those moments. But when he knows that he's being compared to one guy on the other side as much as he is, I'm sure this was a nice one for him. Obviously, we know the Reds are just searching for someone to step up after 1 and 2 in the order on this team, and they've been waiting a long time for it. So if the one more guy wants to go up there, be my guest. I mean, obviously, we can get into roster construction another day because I think Jeff and Steve covered that really well on their show today. If you listen to it, but this was fun, and when they come out here and they win. My favorite thing is coming here and talk about you guys. This is big time. And Josh brings it up here, and I agree, Josh. So the homer was big, but the defense play in the 9th was a big ball. Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely was. And I think that's 2 moments right there are why Sal Stewart's our locked-on player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Sal Roy Stewart is our locked-on player of the game for his 3-run homer, drawing an intentional walk in the bottom of the 8th, and of course, that big play in the ninth, which ended up being the big difference maker in the game overall. We're going to go back and take the break for the show. We're going to come back and talk about Matt McClain for like the second time in 4 days. Didn't think we'd be talking about that. Chase Burns going 5 innings, and the bullpen coming through right after this. But before we continue with this episode of the Reds Postcast, a big thank you to our friends at Amazon for this limited break. This back-to-school season, spend less on your kids with Amazon. We all know how crazy the back-to-school shopping experience can be. It starts with a few items on the list, to suddenly you're shopping for supplies, clothes, lunch gear, tech, and about 10 other things you didn't see coming. It adds up fast. When you look at the school supply list and wonder if you're shopping for one child or opening a small office supply store. I didn't realize first grade required this much inventory. Shopping like this can get out of control if you're not careful. When your kid spends the days planning their perfect first day of school outfit because they want to make a great first impression, you end up putting almost as much thought into it as they do. At least the first day photos are worth it. So remember, with Amazon's low back-to-school prices, just spend less on your kids, because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. Shop back to school at Amazon and spend less on your kids. Want to send a big thank you to our everydayers here on the Reds Postcast, as we really love having you guys on here to talk ball with us all. And if you are an everydayer, let's go ahead and step up to that everydayer club as well, as we discussed, as we are your first listen each and every day on Locked On Reds, whether it's with me the next morning after the game or Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday with their show as well. And for $5 a month or $50 a year, you can get all those shows ad free. You also get access to our Discord chat. We're in there talking baseball as well. It's a lot of fun. It's a joy. Love getting to be able to talk baseball with you guys. We love listening to it, hanging out with our listeners and talking with our everydayers. Matt McClain, the X Factor tonight. I think he's earned that right.
It's time to reveal who made the biggest under the radar impact with today's X Factor.
Now, I understand that bunt single he has in the 8th inning doesn't count for an RBI, but he still gave the Reds really quality at bats tonight. And for some reason, anytime I talk about McClain and I give him credit, someone likes to bring up that he's not good. And I get it. He has not been, but I'm going to enjoy the days he is, because tonight he goes 3 for 3. He scores 2 runs. He has a double. Plays solid defense like he normally does. Can't complain too much. Had a stolen base tonight. Matt McClain was really good tonight. And he's been better of late. I'm not going to act like he's been very good by any stretch of the matter, but he is really kind of stepping his game up. He's got a 850 OPS in his last 15 games. If you break it down to his last 7, he's got a 318, 375, 545 slashing. That's 7 hits and 22 at bats with 4 runs scored and a homer and 2 walks. He's playing all right. I think that he can, this is the thing we do all the time, right? It's the McClain cycle, where you're like, here, he's going to break out. Here, he wasn't very good. Here, he had a really good game. Here, he went over 4 3 strikeouts. Here, he's going to break out. Like it's the McClain cycle, right? That's what we're going through right now. So we're at the middle now. So we got 2 steps before we're back again. And that's where we're going to be going. So that's the part that we're going to kind of roll with him. But I've really liked how he's played of late. It's nice to see him kind of hit well. We know the talent's there. I really do think it's something where maybe it's between the mentals. Maybe the mentals are what's keeping him down. Like, we all see him. We all know he can play. We all know that he's talented. But this was, a night where he really kind of gave them the big boost, and it was nice to see. And Pierre says it here. Hope Francona keeps McClain where he is in the lineup tonight. I feel like he is more comfortable, at least for the rest of the year, hitting in the 9th spot. We've seen kind of this whole thing. They're moving him up and down the order. Sometimes he's hitting 6, sometimes he's hitting 7, sometimes he's hitting 9th. Just keep him there. Flip the lineup over. If he gets on base, he's plenty fast. Then you have Ellie and Sal there. I think that's a really good strategy for him. But like I said, playing much better of late. So that's been nice to see. I liked it. I'm kind of curious, chat, the everydayer chat here. I'm going to kind of get your guys' thoughts on this, because I'm going to use the second guess segment. But I'm open to any thought process on it.
Since hindsight is always 20/20, let's deliver today's second guess.
I think right now I'm looking at the Chase Burns outing, and Chase Burns was plenty good. don't get me wrong. Like, I thought he pitched fine. I know he had a rough 4th inning, but 7 strikeouts in 5 innings, 2 runs scored. I mean, 2 earned runs. No one's going to complain about that. My second guessing is not necessarily that he didn't pitch well, because he did. I'm genuinely shocked, and not in a bad way, because it worked out, that Tito sent him out for the 5th inning. And not the fact that he didn't deserve to go for the 5th inning, because, he's really, really, really good. So no one's going to complain about him pitching by any stretch of the matter. We all know my feelings on Chase Burns. But we're getting to this point in the season where they don't really have anything to play for, right? And we all know there's this innings limit that no one seems to know the exact number of, and he's getting up there pretty high in innings already. It's the most innings he's ever thrown. And I kind of thought after how many pitches he threw in the 4th, we might not see him in the 5th. I'm glad we did. But how do you all feel? And I'll read some of the responses if I get them in time before the show ends on this, in the sense of, do you want to see him kind of be child-proofed a little more for the rest of the year? Do you want to, for the sake of the Hunter Green stuff and everything that's going on there, and the Reds aren't going to have until like 2028? Or do you want to see kind of a situation where it's like, let's just ride with him and see what he can do? We know how good he is. He can make a case he's one of the 3 or 4 best pitchers in the National League right now. And a couple of those guys are also in his division, so that kind of makes it a little interesting as well. And also, maybe it's just a good learning situation for him to keep pitching through the year, because he hasn't got this before. Do I want to probably see him cut off at some point? Yeah, I do think it's, at some point I just want to see him cut down. Like, I don't want to pitch off September for nothing and risk anything here, but what he's certainly given them has been nice. Nick Prana pops up. It's time to shut him down. I don't have an agreement or disagreement to any opinion on this segment, to be honest with you. I really do think that it's a fair conversation either way. There's bonuses both ways. There's the thought process of like, well, they've already signed the contract. We know he's going to be here a long time. We know he wants to be here. We know he's excited to be here. The $100 million contract is already looking like a bargain. The fact that the Reds got him for that is already looking really, really promising. So, but then there's also the other stuff that goes with him. Josh says here, I worry the 2027 lost season will make his limit moot at the point. Fair. Johnny says, I want to see him pitch 10 to 15% more innings than last year. I think that's probably the right way to think of it, Johnny, honestly. Just kind of having him in that area there. Like, if he misses the last 2 two turnarounds in September, so be it. Get excited for whatever 27 is going to be. And, what 2028 is going to look like, because a lot to be excited about that kid. Has potential best pitcher in baseball written all over him. Will it happen? Probably not. It's a pretty unique skill to have, but he's a guy that a lot of people will be really excited about. Let's go ahead and close the show out tonight talking about the pen. And if I do any more Chase Burns things, I'll go ahead and put that back up there. But want to give some love to some of the bullpen tonight. I know Emilio Pagan gave up 2 runs, but like the way he'd been pitching, he was due to have a game where he gave up some runs. I'm not gonna be too mad about that. Sam Moll was solid. I don't know, maybe not solid, but good enough. An inning with a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. Brock Burke struggled a little bit, but got through it. Has an inning with 2 walks. Luis Mey, our guy, Luis Mey, strikes out the side. That's been pretty awesome. So I can't believe how good he's been. And someone early in the chat, see if I can find it real quick, and I'll give you your credit. Joyce and David Huber, almost 11 straight scoreless innings for Luis Mey, closer to the future if this keeps up. No argument from me. Feel like that guy has definitely earned the right to be the back end of the bullpen guy. And then, like I said, Pagan, so be it. I'm not mad at him for this. I mean, Jordan Walker's awesome at baseball. I actually hate how much I like Jordan Walker because he does not play for my team. He's super talented and he plays really good baseball, and he's, the home run derby was a lot of fun this year because what he did, no harm, no foul. So that was one of the things that was kind of really wild. But yeah, Pagan, if you're going to go up runs somebody on the Cardinals, it's that guy, and you can live with that. But yeah, it was a fun game. Good day to be a Reds fan. They get the victory. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters, especially when it's beating the Cardinals. But the Reds do get that win tonight over the St. Louis Cardinals, 5-4. The Reds have 5 runs on 7 hits and no errors. The Cardinals have 4 runs on 9 hits and an error. Sam Moll is your winning pitcher. He is now 2-7 on the year with a 4.47 ERA. Matthew Liberatore takes the loss. He's 5-11 with a 5.04. Emilio Pagan picks up his 16th save of the year. He now has a 4.30 earned run average. If I could talk, we'd be on a roll. But tomorrow, the Reds finally wrap up this series with the Cardinals at 12:40 p.m. Eastern at Great American Ballpark. And it's going to be the final game of a 5-game set, and it's a rubber match at that. And for some reason, my system does not want to give me who's pitching tomorrow. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. But yeah, I left my phone in the other room tonight, guys, so I'm really sorry that I had that happen. But everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight and celebrating a Reds win. I'm very excited to see what the rest of this time goes for the rest of the year. I'm excited to see how things go tomorrow. I'm excited to see how things go in Arizona. Please be sure, as always, to be able to join the Locked On Reds Everydayer Club or subscribe to us on your podcast app of choice or here on YouTube. But until tomorrow, I'm Tim Daniel. Go Red Legs. I will see you all tomorrow night afternoon.